Good evening, my friends. This is VJ Franz K. I've just come back from visiting the NAMM show. And here, at the KORG booth, I discovered something new and interesting. From the company that has produced so many interesting music gadgets, hardware, over the last few years, including this K-oscillator, the Volca series. But what is this? It is a surprising new iPad app, and it's called Gadget. Basically, this app contains a selection of several different virtual music gadgets. They're all here for you to use, and they're similar to things that you have heard in other places, and yet they all have a great deal of adjustability. Make your own new sounds. I thought I would take a break from the show just to give you a quick first look at this, and we'll definitely be talking about this more. The tune you're hearing in the background, the first thing I ever made, I didn't even have to read the manual. It was easy to figure out. It's very, very intuitive. Here we have a mixer. Let's just say it's as simple or as complicated as you want to make it. And you can bring in skills that you've learned from hardware devices, which are simulated, or the other apps from KORG. It works similarly. Everything is very adjustable. I'm going to begin my example track with a drum machine. We'll look through all of our different gadgets here. It's like a collection. Most of KORG's apps up to this point have been recreations of existing hardware, but in this case, you get hardware which never existed. It's similar to other devices or software, but it has its own unique and fun interface. Analog drum synthesizer. Now you can sequence in one of two ways, or both of them. Put down dots just like on an electribe or anything else. Now without losing this pattern, I can flip through different sets of patches. Say I don't like that tom sound though. Unlike working with samples, because I'm working with a drum synthesizer here, I can change different parameters here. Already now it sounds like a timpani or something like that. Here I have an effects section. I can add other things. Maybe some distortion. Or a tube drive. We'll use that. And you'll notice they include sounds. They're designed for the latest styles. In this case, it would be dubstep. Now you notice the pattern here is now going across. This is the pattern for the Tokyo drum machine here. They're all labeled after different cities in the world. And here's a blank track for the Miami machine, which is a dubstep or maybe trap wobble bass line. There it is, classic wobble bass, and notice that LFO is already set to wobble along with the tempo. So there are my notes. I added them in live mode, but I can fix them. Notice, very intuitive way of dealing with the notes. All right, let's adjust the wobble. See, these are different types of LFO, which makes the wobble. Different shapes, you'll notice. And you can have it run at different speeds. But the whole thing with dubstep and IDM and other styles like that. You'll notice they often change the speed of the wobble. You can record that as automation. Just add this. Notice the line is red now. You see it has recorded the shape changes. There's that bit crush effect, which is popular lately. Very cool. Say this is going along too fast, of course. We have master tempo, which we slide up or down while holding on the tempo to adjust it. And then you can separately slide on this side to change the fractional amount, which is very handy in case you're trying to synchronize it with something else. You can add the swing if you want, and all the devices obey this. So it keeps them all nicely synchronized together. Tap tempo, that's always a great feature. What are we going to add next? We have a Pcm Drum Module with samples and a whole lot of kits to use. It's great to be able to use both types of sequencing concurrently. I can cut off the sample early by adjusting the time here. Or, I like the rest of the kit, I just want to change one sound. You can do that here. As you can see, there are a ton included. I also have 2 master effects, a master limiter, and a master reverb I can add per instrument. But then each one of these devices has its own special tailored effects. Here is a chiptune style beat that I have made. I'm going to unfreeze these so you can see the way they work. Here on the London drum machine, I'm using the decimator to create that sort of chiptune sound, if you know what I mean. One of my favorite devices is the Kingston here. As you can see, it is styled after a tabletop arcade cabinet. Lots of different sounds, including ways to alter the sound. You may ask yourself, why is this called Kingston? Which is in Jamaica. But then it occurred to me that a lot of dub reggae uses video game type sound effects as an added element. If you want some more serious sounding instruments, they have you covered here too. This Marseille, I'm running the pipe organ here, but has various sounds that aren't made by synthesizers usually. We can flip through the gadgets. Here's that Helsinki futuristic ambience synthesizer. Classic analog monosynth type of situation here. Complicated drum pattern. We'll start a new track. I can save as, export, open. It even comes up with a name. If you can't think of the name for your track, keep flipping through until it produces random words that you like. Ectozoan. That sounds cool. All right. A little bit different track this time. We'll try the Amsterdam Pcm Sfx Boombox. It makes it more fun when there's all this different style interface to use. Now there's a lot of reverb there. Let's reduce that reverb so it doesn't sound like it's quite so outer space. Once again, we can flip through different kits while keeping the same pattern. A lot of these are the sort of noises that you will hear in dubstep or maybe in trap. Industrial music or something like that. This is cool. It's sort of an industrial pattern. Very atmospheric there. As mentioned, we can reduce the atmospheric sound. Go back there. You know, and I didn't know what type of track I was going to make before I started this. I just picked out a machine and said, let's go with it. And that's what a lot of the fun with this program is, coming up with new musical ideas that you may have not expected. This could be the beginning of your making electronic music or hip-hop or EDM, dubstep, whatever you want to call it. Here we go. Notice we get a Chaos Pad style control for this one, which is interesting. You'll notice some of these gadgets are monophonic, some are polyphonic, like our Volca keys here. Let's make another track. There are so many possibilities. I could do this all day, but somehow I have to get back to the NAMM show. You don't have to begin with the drums, of course. You could use it to make entirely non-beat oriented music if you want to. It's very beautiful. Also handy on here is the scale button. We can pick all of these different scales. Mixolydian is one of my favorites. I'll use my function button here and change the length. Make it 2 bars instead of 1. I could change the grid as well. Make it 32 triplets. We've created something ambient here. Simple set of drums here. If you're a fan of the classic Japanese drum machines, or the new classics like Electribe R here, or even iElectribe, you can adjust the parameters here. Starting to sound like a chiptune drum there. Here's a fairly complicated drum pattern I added by using record mode, tapping out the buttons, then making a few timing adjustments on the grid here. Track sounds very nice. And it only took me a few minutes. This has been VJ Franz K, talking about the amazing new app from KORG, Gadget. And we'll definitely be back with more discussion of this app and others. Please stay tuned, subscribe here on YouTube, as well as on Twitter, SoundCloud, and other services. My username is always the same, VJ Franz K. Reviewing synthesizer apps, synthesizer gear, and of course, video gear when we have the chance. I am a VJ after all. Now I'm back to the NAMM show, and who knows what else I will discover. Thank you very much for watching. Gadget. As soon as I saw it, I knew this was going to be a hit.